Welcome to Red Chair Chats, where we share real stories of resilience, growth, and success from the agents and leaders of Keller Williams Greater Springfield.
Nothing like starting off with a morning bevy. Mom, I need help.
Okay, here.
Oh, look, I got it.
Cheers. The red dye 40.
Oh, yes, should probably be illegal.
Okay, we ready? Okay. Hey, it's Rachel with Keller Williams, and on today's guest of Red Chair Chats, I have the amazing, the only Shanna Bluml.
Hello.
So Shanna is our productivity coach at Keller Williams, and Keller Williams has a lot of different Kellerisms that people don't really understand. So Shanna, tell us what a productivity coach actually is.
Absolutely. So it's a coach for success, right? So it's going to guide you through your journey in real estate to get you into your productive pants immediately, right? Mm-hmm. Because if we don't get into production quickly, we're not going to make it in this business. You got to find those successes to move you from being fearful to fearless. And so a coach along the way is going to get you there. And I think having a coach is crucial because you don't get to the Olympics without a coach. You can't do it on your own, and we'll talk more about that later, but super important to me.
Yeah. So walk us through your journey of how you even came to Keller Williams and how did you become a productivity coach?
Right. So it's really funny. My background is elementary education and fitness coaching. So
makes perfect
sense
real estate
for
coaching.
Where I ended up, right?
Yeah.
But life had its own plan for me, and I went through my own trials and tribulations. Everybody's got their traumas and dramas and all those things. And I was discovered by the wonderful Jen Davis. I became friends with Jen Davis. We have kids of the same age. And I was actually on the upswing of my career. I was working at a school. I was getting my master's in special education. I was coaching fitness on the side and literally burning that candle at both ends, but feeling massive success, rocking it as a single mom. And she tried to pluck me from that. And I said, no. I said, I love working 3 jobs, making $20,000 a year. And so she said, just interview. I've got a couple openings. So I interviewed and I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. I have to be a part of this. So I went from like, I don't really want to go to I have to have this job. And I came in as Dan Holt's assistant, and that was really fun ride. It was a really fun ride if you don't know him.
Yep.
And success with their team. It was an amazing group to learn from and be guided by, and I literally owe it all to them. Fast forward, I was with them for 6.5 years. I held just about every role on that team one could hold, and moved over into the productivity coaching field because I felt like that's where my heart was. And I wanted to make a difference for more people and meet more people.
I think back to when we first started talking if this would be something you're interested in, and we talked about your background of being a teacher and having that passion to help educating others. And I think this role really does take that teacher spirit, because in real estate you could go out and you could sell one more house and your life could be fulfilled, you could have the needs and the wants met, and yet that's not what drove your needle. That's not what pushed you forward.
No.
So why was this position the right one for you?
You ever get somewhere and you're like, this is where my feet are supposed to be and my soul is happy and it doesn't feel like work? They say that you find what you love to do and you monetize it somehow and you never work a day in your life. That's 100% true.
Yeah.
And so the minute I stepped into this role, I knew it was where my heart was.
That's cool. So just to brag on Shanna a little bit, so she has a productivity coaching program inside of Keller Williams, and her program alone has over 60 agents that are in this program, which is more than most brokerages here in Springfield, Missouri. And let alone, I'm going to let her share some of her numbers, but she is outproducing most brokerages right here in the Springfield area just with her coaching program. So Shanna, brag on your program. Tell us some numbers that we need to know.
Numbers you need to know. Numbers you need. I wrote them down so I didn't forget. Already year to date, we've taken 73 listings. And I want you to remind me to talk about listings later. Okay? We have written over 100 contracts already, and we're not even halfway through the year. We have brought in income to the market center, over $100,000 of income to the market center. And the neatest part about that is nearly 80% of that is brand new agents. Brand new agents. Those are huge numbers for me to be able to brag on. Also, our average dollar sale for this year is upwards of $280,000, which I think kind of beats the average.
Wow.
And I think we're breaking the stereotypes left and right with what new agents can do.
Yeah. So those were really impressive numbers. Break it down for me why that's so significant to an agent. So if they heard you say those numbers, what does that mean for them?
Right. So as an agent, you have to produce to make a living, right? A lot of agents just get into this business and they don't understand the job. They don't know who to talk to. They don't know how to do it. And so without adequate training, you're not going to get there fast enough to make it work. You have to be producing before 90 days. Otherwise, how do you afford to eat, right? Like that, you just can't.
Yep.
And so getting them into production very quickly is crucial. It's important because it's their livelihood. Most of them have to work another job. So how do we switch them over to a full-time position in real estate? The fastest way to get there is to sell houses, right? To get into activity very, very quickly. And so what we find is, what is it, about 2 years people are in and out of the business because they're not successful, right? Last year, the statistics were 70% of agents didn't sell one home.
Wow.
That's astounding.
Wow.
So how can we flip that and put more agents in the business and keep them in the business?
And I know your heart for all of our agents is you feel responsible for them. Like they made this choice to get into real estate, to whether it be build wealth, to be able to have a flexible schedule, earn a little bit of extra income, and you take that responsibly and like personally. So you don't want them to get in the business just to get out.
Absolutely not. That breaks my heart. If you went through all of the work, the 72 hours and the hard real estate test and all those things.
The class,
right? And understanding what it means to be paid in arrears, right?
Yeah.
Like if you can do all of that, and then you get this far, you didn't come this far to just come this far.
Yeah.
And I really, when they work with me and we're in business together, I take it very personal. And it's up to me and them to get it done. But I think we didn't come this far to come this far.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can say that.
And when you joined our leadership team, and you've been in the real estate industry before that, but we were kind of coming off of the end of COVID. And now we're going into the market where it's not necessarily speed, it's skill.
Yes.
So what are some of the obstacles that you or people on your team are having to overcome?
Well, that's interesting. Most of my team, if they are newer to the industry, they don't have the bad habits. So take those people who came in during the COVID era, and it was speed. You had to be the first one there. You had to open the door. You had to get your offer in first, right? That is a skill in its own, but you kind of had to just be a warm body. Now, I was in that market, and I will be the first to say it was not fun. People say it was fun. It was not fun, okay? There's nothing worse than waiting in line for 30 minutes to see a house, and I literally have to say, do we have a college tuition intact that we could maybe use that as our down payment?
Yeah.
Like, it's just heartbreaking.
And what's the term used? Pop-Tart?
Pop-Tarts.
Agents were acting as Pop-Tarts. It was like,
Pop-Tarts.
oh, had to go see this, had to go here.
Yeah, you call me and I'm like, yes, I'm already there, standing there waiting for you. Up and go. I have no social life. I answer my phone all the time, all the things. But we had to move into a skill-based market, which is where we start capturing agents that maybe came in 2020. There's so many things that our agents who have come in the last 2 years know and understand and operate through that seasoned agents that have been around for 5 years don't know, right? We're not talking about like escalation clauses. We're talking about price improvements.
Yeah.
We're talking about pricing appropriately in the market and setting good expectations with your buyers and sellers. Days on markets, long conversations, it's all relationship building at this point. So it's a totally different conversation, but what's neat is that's what I get to live in. I don't have to correct a lot of bad behavior, so to speak.
That's such a great perspective, because whenever Sitzer Burnett came out and now buyer's agency was required, that was nothing that a new agent coming in, that's all they ever knew.
Yeah.
And it's the agents that were in the business before that they were like, this is a huge change. And I actually was excited about that change. It welcomed our agents to act as the professionals that they are. They have to show up to be the professionals, to be the true fiduciary for their client, and utilizing that made them slow down so they could have the right expectations and understand their client at a better understanding.
I couldn't agree more. As much as I don't really want to say this out loud, it was a really good change for our industry. We need to slow down because this is a huge, huge impactful moment in their lives. And when we go too fast, it leads to a lot of misunderstandings misunderstanding. It leads to a lot of buyer's remorse or seller's remorse. So I think it was a great change for the industry to kind of elevate us, and it gave us a chance to really show who we are. We aren't a Pop-Tart agent. We provide so much value. We are the key and the education piece that they're missing along the way.
So as you look into the rest of this year into next year, what are you seeing in the market, and how do agents learn to adapt to the new changes?
You know what's funny is I was in a meeting with you yesterday and you said something that really just laid on my heart, and it was that adaptability is the new consistency, right? They have to be adaptable to be able to pivot at any time. We can't just say, you know, history repeats itself and what worked in the past is going to continue to work, and we have seasonality and this and that. I think you got to consistently be staying cutting edge. You have to be listening and reading and observing and changing the way you do things and being adaptable in this market. I'm not a fortune teller. I can't tell you what's going to happen, but I feel like we're on the verge of something really big here. We're entered into this balanced market where we have the tale of two markets going on, where we got long days on market and the seller, you know, is complaining and having to do price reduction after price reduction. And then we have the same story going over here of, it was on the market, I put a sign in the yard for 2 hours and I got multiple offers. Like, how do you navigate that? Like, that, it's the Wild West out here. But if you lead with your heart and you lead with contribution and want to help them understand this process and do the right things, be the economist of choice, be the real estate person that knows their market, be the professional that they are hiring you to be, and you will be just fine.
That's so good. One of the myth understandings I hear a lot of the time when we're talking about the productivity coaching program and, oh, you should talk to Shanna, it's, well, that's for new agents.
Gosh, yes.
Is that right?
Yes. No. Oh my gosh. I've got agents literally 20 years in the business. 20 years. That's a lot of bad habits to get rid of, by the way. But it is not for new. It is for anyone. And so that's one of my struggles, is consistently showing up with engaging material and content to attract anybody. So I always say, if you come to my group coaching, it doesn't matter what state of real estate you're in, you're going to take something away. It's not just basics, but also the basics never get old. The foundational pieces never get old. They don't change, right? It's all about being a good human and doing the right thing. But it is absolutely not for new agents. And so remember when I said, remind me of listings. All right. So one of the big...
So remind you of listings.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. One of the big things that people say is, PC, productivity coaching, is for new agents, and they should really focus on buyers because it's easier for them. They can't handle listings. I'm sorry, what? We've taken in my 3 years here, like 350 listings. Tell me I'm wrong. They can handle a listing. If you were trained right and you move from fearful to fearless, there's nothing that can stop you. And it is not for new. It is for anyone. I've got all kinds of agents, and they get to come be a part of a team of individuals betting on themselves first.
And Keller Williams is a capping model. So you would think when an agent caps that they've made it. And you still have agents that say, even though I've capped, I still want to be in the program. So you're offering different sorts of trainings no matter their production level.
Absolutely. I'm trying to tailor it to different buckets of agents, right? I want to be a one-stop shop for agents of any size and shape and production levels, from the brand new person who doesn't know how to use a Gmail account to the person who we're having a very high level conversation and we're hiring on our replacement. We're hiring on our administrative professional. We have systems and models because of Keller Williams that we can have this in place and operate seamlessly through it. So it is for everyone.
And I love that perspective, because being at Keller Williams, we are a large brokerage, and yet you're creating this community that you are still able to almost handhold them along their journey. And you're able to say, great, now you've had a few transactions under your belt, or you're seeing success. Let's talk about what it looks like to build a team. What does that next step take? And you've been a part of that team environment, so you have a real life understanding of what that looks like.
I was on a very successful team. They're my very best friends still today. And I've learned so much from them of what to do right and what we did wrong, because you got to fail often and fast and get up and keep going. That's real estate. So having that unique perspective gives me a voice with these people of saying, hey, this may be a really great path for you, and here's where we messed up, and here's where you can go right.
And you've been able to share a lot of the shininess of this. Tell me about a time where maybe you didn't get it right, or some time that you felt like, man, I missed the mark.
Every day, all day.
Okay.
Twice on Sunday.
Tell me about it.
All right. So I think back to early in my career, right? So when Dan hired me on to be his administrative professional, I really learned quickly that paperwork's not my thing. Details are not my thing. I'm a visionary. I'm a big thinker.
Wouldn't have guessed that at all.
No. Who would have thunk? And I learned a very valuable lesson. I spelled somebody's name wrong. And I didn't do it just once, but I kept messing up on little details, like their name was wrong, something was wrong with the email address. And I learned that you only have 1 or 2 mistakes in the front side of a transaction before they completely lose trust with you. That was a huge, hard lesson learned. I don't like to disappoint. I am definitely a people pleaser, and I disappointed everybody, and I let myself down. And so I had to learn that you got to get it right in the front side.
That's really good. So tell me about some of the most recent successes in the program, or what are you looking to do to the program next?
Grow bigger.
Yeah.
Grow bigger. Because without growth, we're dying, we're decaying. This is a team, and if we don't continue to feed it and nurture it and love on it and grow it bigger, we're going to lose opportunity. We want market share. So I'm looking to grow and grow and grow and find my replacement someday, you know?
And don't ever leave me.
No, I'm not going to leave. My replacement is just 2 of me, I guess. No, I think the big thing is don't let somebody else tell your story, right? And so I've kind of come over this hurdle of, I didn't want to be, it's not me, it's not my program, not my thing, it's our thing that we've all created together. And it was really hard for me in the beginning because I didn't want to share those successes because I felt like it was directed at me. And I'm like, it's not me, that's phony baloney, it's about them. And what I learned is when I share their story, it shares our story. So I'm going to stop letting other people tell the story of PCs for new agents and PC, they only take buyers and whatever other nasty rumors are out there. I want to dispel all of that.
I think you've done a really amazing job of creating this community and culture. As a real estate agent individual, it can be very lonely at times as you're looking at how do I grow my business, or these are the challenges I'm having. You're creating this community that they can all come together, share their wins, maybe their challenges, but also like lift each other up along the way. Because real estate's hard.
It's really hard.
It requires a lot of work. And it's so fun to go downstairs and see you have 30 plus people sitting in a circle sharing everything of what's happening. And so I think that's such a testament to the community that you have created, because you really went in and said, I'm going to be the one that helps lead this charge. And that's been really cool to see.
It's been a blessing. And I learned all of it from just being part of this community. It just bleeds in. And sometimes, you know, the community is so big and overwhelming, people can't find their spot. So when you can break it down into a digestible piece, it makes it easier for people to attach to. And I always say, you're going to find your tribe, you're going to find your people, your entourage, so to speak. And so it's not anything I created. It's something that I pushed in front of the right people and they created it.
Yeah, that's cool. So what does success look like to you? How would you define that?
It's really tough because there's success all around us. It's how you look at it. It's the mindset you carry with it. I look at failures as a success because guess what? I'm not going to spell that person's name wrong again. Okay, so there's that. Success is seeing that light bulb and that click moment in an agent's mind where all of a sudden they get it and they run with it, and getting to see them create these big, massive things in their world. And the click moment, I don't have words for it. I can't articulate it. It's a feeling, and it feels really good.
I can see you light up just talking about it. You can see the energy for it. So if you had to give a real estate agent one piece of advice that they could take and implement into their business, what would it be? Accountability.
Your talent. You're going to thrive in an accountability setting. You're not going to shy away from it. Hold yourself to a higher standard. Believe in yourself. And if you don't believe in yourself, find somebody that believes in you and borrow that from them for a little bit.
That's good.
Just get it.
Most people fear accountability.
They look at it as somebody's micromanaging them and they don't have the autonomy, or they don't want to be held to a standard. Well, you have to. If you want to do great things, you're better than that. So accountability, find it quickly, get there. And don't wait on a business card to start your business journey.
Period. So I think that's been really great around it. And then as you look into the future, when you say grow the program, how many agents do you want in the program, or what does that look like?
All of them.
Okay.
I want everyone. No, I think everybody thrives in an accountability setting. I would love to have 100 people in the program.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, that's my $100,000, right? So when people come to you and they're like, I want to make $100,000, and I'm like, is that enough? Like, are you sure $100,000 is going to cut it? To me, it's 100 people in the program. It's a milestone that I got to get to. And I struggle with attrition, right? Because it's a moving bus that people are getting on and getting off at all times. We got to grow this market center. We got to grow this. We got to go. But it's focusing on those people every step of the way. So 100 is relative.
What I think is really cool though is, not everybody's a fit for your program. And so you're able to have those conversations with them of saying, I think you don't need me.
Because I do have some agents, I always joke, I'm like, I can't shake you. You won't leave me alone. I'm going to put you to work instead. So we developed, a leadership council out of that. But there's people that I'm like, I'm holding you back at this point. You've outgrown me. You need to move on. And it's a really cool conversation because it's like watching the bird fly from the nest. And I feel like I have a little part of that. And it makes my soul really happy to see, like, I hope you got something from this and you take it and you run with it.
Yeah, that's really cool. Okay, rapid fire questions.
Oh, okay.
You ready?
Yes.
If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Tahiti.
Okay, cool. What's your favorite food?
Paschetti.
Paschetti, awesome.
Rapid fire, it's what came out of my mouth.
Favorite TV show?
The Sopranos.
Really?
Yeah, I know, it's weird. You would have thought true crime.
I would have thought True Forensic Files would have been it.
That's my nighttime show.
Oh, okay.
Peter Thomas.
Sorry, I didn't differentiate of that. Oh man, okay. Favorite season?
Summer.
Summer.
I love summer.
Yeah.
It makes I'm a sunflower. I chase the sun. If there's a sunspot, I'm like a cat. I gotta sit in it. I like the heat. They call me a lizard. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. That makes all sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's been an honor to chat with you. Thank you so much for sharing. If you are interested in finding more out about Shanna's productivity coaching program, and if you're the right fit, please don't hesitate to reach out to her and let her take your business to the next level. Cheers.
Cheers.